Hey, Paul.
Hey Fab, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. And you?
Good.
I'm again
Back
full
in
of
my
energy.
Office.
Nice. I miss
Yeah.
that place. It's been a while. I'm also in my
Yeah.
office, but it's always the
All
same
right.
one.
Yeah.
All right. So today, what if my team is in limbo? So let me explain. Some obviously a lot of industries have been shut down and blah blah blah, but there's some suppliers of these agencies that they're not quite closed down because they still have to supply some items. But you're really not going full steam ahead either. What what if that's happening to you? What should you do as a sales leader, as a business owner, if I have a team that's kind of stuck in limbo?
Well, I was actually talking to a client yesterday, and that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much it. His team's quite busy, but they're busy with different things, and they're not necessarily selling as much as they used to, but they're servicing a lot, and they're helping their clients sort of move forward and work through this. So
Okay.
it's interesting. I think what you want to foster in let's say talk about a sales team or any team is you want to foster a certain amount of independence and creativity so that people can readjust to what's going on and understand their priorities. So I think if you always have a really good list of objectives, you understand how to get there, you'll be able to retweak what you need to do to get there. So let me explain. If you know that at a high level, you're trying to reach a certain objective, but you understand that during this crazy COVID-19 period, things have to be different. Well, you're going to readjust your objectives. You're going to say, if you knew you were selling 50% more before the shutdown because 50% of your clients are non-essential, well, you have to be realistic about that. But you also have to prepare what's coming back, right? You got to prepare ahead of time. You have to be ready for when everything starts to pick up again. So it's just really being, I think it's instilling a sense of responsibility, accountability, independence in your salespeople and whoever else is in whoever else is on your team. Instilling that sense of being able to think beyond just, oh, my manager told me this, so I'm going to make my 10 phone calls, or I've got to write these 5 proposals and not consider the reality of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. And I like what you said, that it's also about kind of preparing what's next. Obviously, there's still a lot of unknowns. But if you have a team that's in limbo, I feel it's because you're in an industry where things could kind of start ramping up again at any moment. So you're not like a restaurant or something like that. Like you're definitely, in an industry, maybe you're supplying construction or you're supplying hospitals, hospitals are probably busy, but you're supplying an industry that's probably going to reopen at some point, or you're in an industry that's going to reopen. So that's why you probably decided to keep your staff. So I think it's really important to take that time to prepare what's next. Be it, I don't know, let me know, but reviewing your sales process. Does your sales process make sense before? How can I adapt do things need to get updated? I know on the marketing front, and we've spoken about this quite a few times, it's, like take the time, try things out, like start a podcast. Like nobody's going to be listening now, but it's a good time to get a good 10 episodes under your belt that, at least you get more comfortable with the process and with asking questions or start posting more regularly on LinkedIn or on social networks. It's a good time to do that. And again, we've spoken about this, but if you decided to keep your team, one thing is training, which I know we've spoken a lot about, but the other is just, prepare for what's next. And what's next is you're going to be reopening at some point. Make sure the team is ready to hit the ground running.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. We have been reflecting on a lot of many different things that sort of reflect around what the reality of what's going on now. But it's just true that the people who are organized and a little bit good at planning ahead are the ones who are going to do well. The early bird gets the worm. So get out there, try things. Don't be afraid to make some goof ups, but just get out there, be empathetic, talk to your people, try, like you said, podcasts, try different things, go out there and be yourself and try stuff, but don't just be stuck in a frame without thinking about the reality of what's going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. And I think we spoke about this. I don't know if it was last week or earlier this week, but we talked about how action kind of creates activity. And so I think I like the idea of like getting your team to be active, not necessarily, doing their cold calls in the same way and stuff like that, but just doing some sales activity, reaching out to existing clients. How are things going? Doing training. I think the more active you can keep your team, the more results you're going to start seeing, probably earlier than you would expect.
Yeah, I agree. And, it's funny because a lot of people, and we talked about this before in the past, and maybe tomorrow on our podcast, we can dig deeper into this, but, responsibility is all about the responsibility you take for your own actions. In times like this, a lot is happening around you that you don't control. And there's two types of people. There's the kind of person who will, say, hey man, all this is happening, I'm just going to sit at home and wait it out. And then there's the other type of person, second type of person, who's going to say, you know what, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do to make things happen because I don't control COVID. I don't control when the economy is going to come back. So I'm just going to go out there and do my activity. So it's all about taking charge of what you can do. You still have a mouth, you still have legs, you still have a brain, you can still do activity, you can still think of stuff, you can still try things out. Yes, there's a lot of fear at first, but now we've been in it for over a month. We sort of know where things are going. We know how things are going to shape up. We know what's going to happen. So now you have, the first couple of days, I understand being freaked out, but if you're still sitting on your ass waiting for, that great opportunity to hit you in the face, you're going to be one of those people. You'll either get really lucky, or you'll get hit by lightning.
Yeah. I mean, there's always some people that are lucky, but I think you got to create your life. I think just staying at home and waiting. And I mean, if you've gotten laid off and things like that, you could still do things. It's different, but if you're not, and things are just slower, I think the more activity you can do, the more chances you increase of getting lucky, quote unquote, and having things start up right for you again.
But Fab, I want to challenge you on that. Even if you got laid off, you can't just sit there and wait. I mean,
no, that's what I meant. It's just different types of activities. That's what I meant.
Absolutely. You need to stay active, and if you're zero creative, look things up and go go see what other people that are in the same business as you, what are they doing? If you're a salesperson right now and you're trying to sell a product and half your clients are closed down or 90% of it, call them up, just prepare what's going to happen next, because I'm sure they're not all just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. Your clients are not just all sitting at home thinking, oh, what am I going to do next? They're the industrious people are still industrious. They don't stop being industrious.
That's right.
They may have had a few freak out days, but that's it. They're back on track.
Yeah, and it's normal. I mean, look, we're human, and emotions are normal, and when things are normal, we have ups and downs, right? We've spoken about this on the podcast, I guess, which is like the salespeople. You'll have a good week, you'll have a bad week, and that's where managing emotions come in. So it's normal that in a turbulent time, you also have ups and downs that might feel even more extreme, right? So that's normal. I think it's just a matter of trying to find a way to keep things going. I think I think that's what's going to favor you. And I know for me personally, and I think for you as well, is the fact that we've been putting ourselves even more out there than we used to. I think I see good things happening.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, this was a great what if.
As usual.
So guys, there's no what if tomorrow. We're recording our podcast, but we're back on Monday.
Back on Monday.
See you then, live with Fab and Paul. So I don't know where Fab is. I think he's on that side. With Fab and Paul. Which side am I on in your world?
What's that? You're on this side.
Oh, really? Because you're on that side too. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is like a weird universe Zoom thing.
All right, bye, Paul.
That's the comedy hour. All right, see you guys soon. See you tomorrow. See you Monday.